Good morning, Andy Lockwood here from Lockwood College Prep and another episode of College Coffee Talk. Good morning. This is a show where I go through all the questions that we've gotten over the last couple of years. We meaning me and my bride and business partner Pearl Lockwood. So I did a few workshops actually 3 workshops last week, and I got this one question at 2 out of those 3 workshops. So I figure it's worth republishing to you guys on Facebook. And as always, if you have any follow-up questions, please drop a comment in the comment section right here, and please like this. If you like the page, by the way, you'll be able to get notified every time I come on. And please share this with any parent who you think is getting a little stressed out about the whole college process. So here's the question. The question I got twice was, what's the best time to start? Meaning, what's the best time to get serious about college planning? So my first flippant answer is always, in utero, and I have a real answer, but it may not be exactly what you're expecting to hear from me. So I've had people start working with me as early as 9th grade, actually 8th grade once, but 9th grade. For the most part, people wake up later, and when I say wake up, they start planning in 11th grade or maybe right before senior year in 12th grade. Now, I'm not going to say what is right or what is right for you, because there's a couple of different arguments. One argument is that you are starting to create the body of work that's ultimately going to be judged by admissions officers from 9th grade on, actually a little bit earlier. If you're an 8th grader taking advanced classes, I was corrected once when I was saying the line about starting in 9th grade. So that's the argument for being early and being proactive, which is generally a good thing. So that means thinking about all these decision points that you have in terms of what courses to take, what extracurricular activities to do in school, stuff to do over the summer, extracurricular activities outside of school, and so forth. Every decision that you have starting in high school will have ramifications a few years later. And most parents tell me, and I think we were sort of the same way, that they didn't get a tremendous amount of personal one-on-one guidance from their college advisors or their guidance counselors at school. All right, so that's the argument for. And then plus understanding the college costs and trying to do whatever you can to maximize your ability to qualify for grants and any other types of funding out there. Here's the other side of the coin, though. This is why I don't have a specific best time response to that question. Not every kid is ready. In fact, I believe maybe it's because of my own sort of lens of being a slacker of how I look through at the world. But I don't think I would have been ready in 9th or 10th grade. I'm not even sure I was ready in 11th grade to be totally candid with you, to start planning and thinking about college. Of course, things were a lot different when we were growing up compared to our kids. That being said, I think most 9th graders, most 10th graders are typically not ready to really benefit from any type of advice, whether it's from me or anyone else, in terms of what it takes to maximize your attractiveness to colleges. Further, a couple more comments. I think boys wake up a lot later than girls do. I've just seen that over and over again anecdotally, and I've heard that opinion from other of my colleagues in other parts of the country. And listen, the rest of the story is sometimes, and this varies by family, but the rest of the story is sometimes families have 2 different kids or a few different kids with different ages, and sometimes it seems like, at least, the ones that get serious and start working with me in 9th grade have already gone through the process with their 12th graders, and for one reason or another were not happy with the results. So it may be that they made a mistake in terms of the list of colleges that they applied to. They had a bunch of unrealistic expectations, or they felt like they didn't have adequate guidance in terms of why that list of colleges was created. The kid got to a certain school and was miserable. There could be a whole host of reasons, but it seems like most of the time when I get hired by families for younger kids, they've already been through the process and didn't have results that they deemed were satisfactory. Now, it remains to be seen. Can anyone satisfy them? I hope I can. But the point of this is this post is to answer the question: when's the best time to start? So it's a combination of when you're ready and when you're in high school, because that's the deal. Now, financially speaking, last just to wrap up here, if you have someone, for example, graduating in 2019, that would be a high school sophomore right now. The financial aid forms will ask you about your income from this year, 2017, which is a 2-year look back. So if you have someone who's headed to college, you think they're a sophomore and it's so far off and abstract, you might feel that way. But in terms of how the financial aid process works, you're already in the middle, right in the throes of it. So if someone who's graduating 2020, who's a freshman, if you're going to make any types of financial changes that will have ramifications on your tax returns, you want to do your best to keep them off of those returns that will ultimately be reviewed by the colleges, by the financial aid offices at the colleges. So 2020, freshmen, definitely not too early for financial aid planning to think about exactly what you need to do. Again, if you're trying to keep things away legally and ethically from your tax returns that will ultimately be reviewed, which will be the 2018 tax returns. That's why I'm saying 2017 now is, I think you get the point. Now is the best time to do it. All right, so I have a couple of workshops coming up this week. Actually, one is live in Manhasset, and one is a webinar. And both workshop/webinar events are posted right here on this page, lockwoodworkshops.com. Please pass this along to anyone you think would benefit from this. And I'm reading your comments. I'm trying to go through them. Thanks a lot. Keep them coming. And I'll talk to you soon. I hope you found this helpful. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.